Hi, my name is Bente, I'm the Norse Witch, and this week's video is for anyone who feels like they don't practice enough, even though they might have the necessary free time. Let me explain why. For a long time I have had this problem, where even though I, let's say, have 4 hours in the evening to myself, I already did everything in the house that I needed to get done, all of the work is done, all of the chores are done. So I have 4 hours to myself, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. But I won't practice. I won't do anything for my magical practice, and I will just end up doom scrolling or watching TV or something like that. And why is that? If I know I have to do something like a protection spell or a cleansing or something specific that I really need to get done, then I do get that done. That is not the problem at all. The problem is when I have free time, but I don't necessarily have to do anything. In those moments, I know there are like a million things that I could do right now, but it's so many different things that I could be doing that I can't make a decision on what I want to do, and then I just end up doing nothing at all, and I will feel bad about it. I really want to do something, but I just can't bring myself to do it. So in the end I end up doom scrolling or watching TV or something unproductive like that. And I'm not talking about active rest. I'm not talking about I'm burned out and I want to rest. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I want to practice, but I can't bring myself to practice because there's a million things that I could be doing and I don't know where to start. So I just end up basically watching TV or doom scrolling and just feeling bad all throughout because I would rather do something else, but I can't. And I can't explain why that happens. I don't know if it's whatever, if it's ADHD or whatever. A lot of people tell me I might have ADHD, and I know, but I don't have a diagnosis. So it might be that. I have no clue, but it has been a problem for me for a long time. And a lot of people are telling me in the comment sections that they have similar problems, and I know there is, for some reason, a big overlap between the neurodivergent community and the magical community, witchcraft community. So I figured that there might be more people having the same problem, and I found a pretty good solution to that problem. It works for me. Of course, I can't guarantee that it will work for you, but it does work for me pretty well. That is what I will show you today. It is pretty insanely simple because it's basically just a task jar. I don't know if there's a fancy professional word for it, but I got the idea when it was COVID and we were locked in the house a long time, and we decided, all right, if we're already locked in, we better watch a lot of movies that we've never watched. But with movies, it's always the same problem, that there are so many choices out there that we just end up not watching a movie because we can't decide. So we made a little jar with little slips of paper, and on these little slips of paper we wrote different kinds of movies. So we just went through lists of good movies. We decided on classical movies back then, but it doesn't matter. And we wrote every single movie on a slip of paper, put it in the jar, and then whenever we said, all right, you know what, we want to watch a movie now, we would just pick a little slip of paper from the jar, and that completely solved the decision fatigue. So I decided, all right, if that works for movies, why not use it for my spiritual and witchcraft practice? And I did. And it worked pretty great. My jar is empty now, so I thought if I have to remake it either way, why not just show you what kind of stuff I write on my little slips of paper, and then maybe you can try this solution for yourself. So let's go, I guess. All right, here we are. So first of all, this is the little jar. Cute little tiny mason jar, basically. That's good enough. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Remember, this is supposed to be practical. So whenever I do this, I just try to think of tasks that are, first of all, fun, that are, second of all, practical, so like practicing different kinds of things, and things that I can do in a pinch that I don't necessarily have to prepare too much for. So, for example, let us start out with Spirit Flight. There's always somewhere that we can explore or spirits that we can meet up with. That always works. Same with practice energy work. Even if you are an advanced practitioner, you can always revisit basics. Then, okay, for me, this will be different for different people. For me, practicing yoga always kind of ties into energy work, because if you know about yoga, it's not just about the exercise part of it. So yoga is something that I like to do. Then of course something else that we can always practice is divination. I, for example, work with different kinds of divination tools, so I could switch it up with different tools. You could separate this into different tasks for different divination tools. I will just keep it simple. Then, two things that always work. One of them is meditation, like doing some kind of either free meditation or a guided meditation. I usually opt for that, because if I already have decision fatigue, then I don't want to have to kind of figure out what kind of meditation I want to do by myself. And breath work. You probably know that I do a lot with my breath, so just practicing how to do different things with my breath is very, very convenient. And here we come to the sponsored part of the video, because this video is sponsored by Aura, which of course we can do a lot of these things with. Because of course, if you are struggling with decision fatigue and you don't really want to come up with anything yourself, Aura is amazing, because on Aura you find, for example, different kinds of guided meditations as well as breathwork practices and much more. That's why I personally love to work with Aura. So I guess let's give it over to sponsor Bente. Aura is a mindfulness and sleep app that has won the Best of Apple Award and is currently used by over 7 million people. It's a great all-in-one app for your sleep and well-being, with thousands of meditations, sleep stories, and so much more, like cognitive behavioral therapy, life coaching, and even breathwork. Aura's content is created by hundreds of expert coaches and therapists around the world. Its content is highly customizable, notifying you about content that has been picked specifically for you every single day. You can also create playlists of your favorite content and work on mood trackers and gratitude journals, which is a great way to track your results. At the moment, I use Aura's challenges and programs the most, because they help me stay on track with my daily meditations while also getting better at meditating every single day. Aura is basically like a Spotify for your mind and soul. Unlike on traditional apps that only give you a few coaches in a one-size-fits-all package, on Aura it is very, very easy to find a guide that resonates with you. So if you struggle with meditating regularly, or if you want to enhance your meditation practice, then I challenge you to try it for 30 days. You can get started using Aura now, completely for free on Aura's website, by using my special link in the video description. The first 500 people using the link will get a free 7-day trial and also exclusive 25% off. So let us continue with our little list. Something that I always forget to do, so it's great in a list like this, is to tend to my altars. I am a dirty witch and I have a lot of dust and cat hair flying around, so tidying up my altars or just redecorating or things like that is something that fits very nicely on a list like this. And now we get more into outside kinds of things. So for example, visiting the graveyard spirits, something that I do pretty frequently. And if I have like 3 hours or something, then this is something that I can really nicely do. Just go out there, commune with them, maybe make a picnic or read there or something like that. It can be more or less serious depending on what you do. Then something that has become very, very important for me is just walk and observe. So just take a walk outside, observe what is happening around you. Maybe you see some signs, maybe you just want to observe what kind of plants are around, what kind of plants are currently flowering, or you maybe want to observe what kind of animals live around. So whatever you want to do, walk and observe. Of course, if while we're at it, we can go and pick up litter, a great offering for the local spirits. And also, of course, if it is summer or spring, we can go out and forage. That's always something that we can do. We could catch up with a spirit or a deity, depending on who we work with. I work with both spirits and deities, so I can switch it up whatever I like to do. And keeping up with the spirits, we could experiment with a plant. spirit. And what I mean by that is not just looking at a plant spirit, of course that's something that we could do here, but what I mean is more like drinking it as a tea and then meditating, seeing what it does, eating it, seeing what it does to you, burning it, seeing what it does to you, things like that. More hands-on experimentation and less off, because I have that separated. Research a plant spirit. So this would be more the theoretical part of it, researching, for example, their biology, their chemistry, where they are growing, or research their folklore, their medicinal uses, anything like that. Of course, we can do the same thing with a deity or with a spirit. So here with research a new spirit, I don't necessarily mean like one specific spirit from your surrounding area or anything like that. I mean more so like, what is a fylgja? What are the disir? Things like that, you know, kind of like trying to research different types of spirits. Okay, now of course we can keep it more open. In general, some kind of new topic. This could be, I don't know, a holiday. This could be a plant if you want to. This could be an element, a planet, whatever you feel like doing. Of course, studying folklore has to be on the list. This is a very enjoyable task. Then we have, okay, let's do something more relaxing. Reading time. So just reading a witchy book. Could also be folklore if you want to. Okay, online course catch up. I always have an online course running, and with some of them I can't attend in person, and sometimes some things get in the way, so I always have something to catch up on. But of course we can also create a grimoire page. This is great, or something that I really like to do is creating an incense blend. Or what else could we create? We could create a bind, rune, / sigil, whatever you like to make, but just experimenting a little bit with creating specific things. We could, this is a great one, we could create a tea blend, some kind of magical tea. Why not create a tea? We could just make a recipe for an oil / tincture / spray or anything like that. We could cook or bake for the ancestors. Of course, we could do this for any other spirit too. So depending on who you work with, you could do something like this or just give an offering to someone. We could perform a bloat for the gods. What else could we do? Oh, something that I always forget. I don't know if you can even see this anymore because I'm right here in the bottom. Plan the next new or full moon. Okay. These are the ideas that I had for a list. Of course, depending on your practice, this will look different for every single person. So you can of course work with my list, but if your spiritual practice looks different, then this list will probably include more things or less things, different things. Just customize it. Now it gets pretty simple. Yes, I have a huge scissor. We just cut it up and then we put it in the jar. So this is actually so simple for the fact that it brings so much, it sparks so much joy and it helps so much. And again, this doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be practical. Mine is definitely never pretty. Okay, and now we have all of these little slips of paper. So we are going to just fold them up. I mean, it's actually so simple. We're just folding them up however small you want them. Oop. And of course, if you want to make this very pretty, feel free to do so. I just want it to be practical. So I'm not really bothering with trying to decorate it or anything like that. That's not really my goal, but you could if you want to make it fancy. And now we have it, our little witchy task jar. So now whenever you want to do something, you have some free time, but you find yourself completely frozen by all of the decisions you have to make, then just shake it up, take out a jar and do whatever is on the slip of paper. Or if you don't feel like doing that, take another one. There's not really rules to it. There's just one thing that I would advise you when you are making your little list of tasks, is that you take nothing that is like time sensitive. So if there's something that you would time with specific planetary days or moon phases or anything like that, don't put it in here, because otherwise there's just a big chance that you will take it out, read it and realize, okay, it's the wrong moon phase for this, so I will just put it back again. Doesn't really make too much sense. And I would also advise you not to put anything in this jar that takes too much preparation. I was already thinking about not putting cooking and baking in here because I would need some specific ingredients for that, but I'm just kind of thinking, okay, I can just go to the supermarket or the grocery store within 5 minutes and get whatever I need for it. So if I have more than, like, let's say an hour, this will be fine. So this is okay. But like, I wouldn't, for example, put spell work in here, because why would I cast a spell if I don't have a specific reason for it, you know? So nothing like that. Or like anything that is a one and done thing, you know, like making a tool or something like that, I also wouldn't put in here, because this is for regular use. So with that being said, I really hope that this little thing will save your ass as much as it does mine. If you make a jar like this and you want to maybe share what kind of tasks you put in here that I maybe didn't include, then put them in the comments. I'm always looking for more ideas. And of course, tell me in the comments if it works for you. I really hope it does. With that being said though, I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and give a thumbs up and ring the bell down below so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Feel free to check out my other socials, and if you want to support this channel, then check out my Patreon or my YouTube membership. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!